This with the operation, what it might look like with retired Rear Admiral Mark Montgomery. He was a commander on the U.S. Navy's George Washington Carrier Strike Group. He's now a senior director at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. Admiral, thank you for being here. I mean, there are about 1,000 paratroopers, 4,500 additional Marines that are moving into the region. How would an operation like this even work?
You know, this is interesting. I can understand bringing the Marines in for something called non-combatant evacuation operations. When it gets really dicey around one of our embassies or consulates, these are the perfect forces to pull them out. But when you start thinking about how to use them offensively, if we're going to use them to see something like Kharg Island, I think this is a very dangerous proposition. You know, the risk to force, those actual forces, I have no doubt they could seize it, but once they have to hold it, the risk to force is going to be very high. And eventually the risk to mission will be high because the amount of forces we'll have to put around them to protect them will prevent us from doing other things like take control of the Straits of Hormuz or continue to do combat air campaign against, targets in Iran. So I'm very worried that this really is going to put a lot of things at risk for an outcome that I don't think is necessary.
So CNN's learned that Iran has been building up defenses on the island. I mean, moving surface to air missiles to the island, laying traps around it, for example. What types of challenges then, given what you've just articulated about the risks to the mission, let alone the troops, would they face?
Well, first, I hope that's true in the sense that if this is a deception or distraction, it's achieving its role, getting Iran to expose forces, put them into Kharg, where we've already hit them once, we could hit them again. That would be great. If, however, we still pursue some kind of seizing operation, obviously, given the opportunity to repair their defenses from the attacks that happened last week and put new forces in, we'll introduce additional risk. Again, I'm confident we could seize it, but holding it and keeping it for any period of time is a lot of risk.
So is that based on how the Iranians might respond or have the capacity to respond in the long run? Because I understand the point of having to sustain that control, but do you think that the ability of the Iranians to outlast our ability to sustain is greater?
Well, I think what it does is it puts us at such geographic proximity. And you can see this in the drone attacks now. Almost no Iranian drones get to Israel because it's 500 miles, they get shot down along the way. But a lot of drones get to Bahrain, only 70 miles, 80 miles away. These Kharg Island, 20 miles away, is going to get even more drones, and they can start using things that we see Russia and Ukraine using called first FPV drones, kind of kamikaze one-way, short 20, 25-kilometer drones. They could easily have tens of thousands of those, and those place our individual soldiers at risk, and they're very hard to counter and shoot down, and we certainly haven't demonstrated much ability to counter drones so far.
There's another island people are talking about, and that may be just as strategically important. It's called Kharg Island, and it's virtually inside the Strait of Hormuz, a very important thoroughfare, and the IRGC uses the island to monitor vessels. So would it be better for the U.S. to seize that one instead of Kharg Island?
I thought the same thing, and believe me, I've passed Kharg Island 50 or 60 times in my career going in and out of the Straits of Hormuz. It's a much more central island to control the Straits of Hormuz. Much easier, I think, to hold, reasonably easy to seize if we wanted to. I'm not recommending that we do that.
Why?
But just because I think we can remove it as all of these islands, we can make them not valuable to Iran. We can damage all the military equipment on it. In the case of Kharg Island, we can tell any ship going to it to get fuel, to get fossil fuels, we'll sink you, and then sink one. All the other merchant ships will get the message and not go there. There's lots of ways to influence how Iran uses these islands, how they use the Straits of Hormuz, and impact them, do cost imposition on them. Putting our forces ashore puts us at risk and allows them to put cost imposition on us. That isn't where the president wants to be. He has never struck me as someone who wants U.S. casualties. He's been very careful about that and adamant about it. I think seizing any of these islands really increases our risk of that.
Admiral Mark Montgomery, thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Still ahead,